Good morning, my loves. Welcome to Hot Mics. Please hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Hello from everywhere. Billy, are you going to be back in California soon? Yes, Val, I'm here right now. Hello from Florida. Yes, Jeannie, hello back to you, my dear. Big elections going down there in Florida. There's Jeannie. She's from Florida. So much happening today in the Lindsay Clancy trial, even though it's over. It just ended, so they only did it for 2 hours. And then Judge Sullivan called it for the day. They'll be back tomorrow. But something happened today that was monumental. I did not see it coming. And boy, did it really touched my heart. The Pink Ladies are back. Lindsay's army of love. For, the women that stood outside in Canton, Massachusetts, in support of Karen Reed. I think many of them might be the same. I don't know. But many women were out in support today of Lindsay Clancy. And when she arrived and the vehicle that brings her in, the crowd was cheering like crazy. Kevin Reddington, her defense attorney, it was a hero's arrival. Harry, roll Kevin Reddington. Let's get that video up here. And then we're going to welcome one of the organizers. Look at Reddington arrive. Still good.
What do you plan to do today before you rest your case?
Cross-examine their experts. They're going to put them on today. And then I'll probably have a Zoom tomorrow with one more witness.
Okay. Do you expect court to go again?
Closing argument should be Monday, hopefully.
Okay. How do you think it's going, your case?
That's good. Closing argument should be Monday, he said. That's interesting. He's moving quickly.
We've got jurors that are spending literally 5 weeks of their time on this case, which I love that. I think it's amazing. It's been going good.
You've been here weeks and you've been having your eyes on the jury. They've been taking lots of notes. What are you thinking? Do you feel confident that they're
very, very attentive, and they're putting a lot of work. They always do. They put a lot of work into the case. It's very moving for them. They don't forget it.
Right.
Mr. Reddington, what's your message to all these folks who are here today?
Thank you. That's all I can say. It's amazing.
We love you, Kevin.
Kevin, are you surprised at just how much attention this case has gotten? I mean, people are coming from Maine.
It's the message. It really is. It's the message that just has reverberated, throughout the whole country.
What is that
Reddington's
message?
Fighting for women's rights for health care.
I think that it's the mental health system. I hate to use the word health care because unfortunately in this case we can see it hasn't been health care. And I think that it shines a light on this issue. I mean, when a woman is going through what so many people do and they go to a doctor and the doctor says, here, take this pill, take that pill, take this pill, and then they basically treat them for 15, 20 minutes and send them on their way. It's just not right.
And to those who can't wrap their heads around sympathizing with a mother who killed her 3 children, what do you say to them?
I think it's almost like when you're picking a jury and sometimes somebody will say, well, I don't agree with, this allegation of murder. I mean, none of us do. But that's what we have juries for. They pass between the government and a defendant to see if they can prove their case.
What do you think?
Is she aware of this support, and what does she think of this support?
I'm going to go in and see her right now. I'm sure that she is, and if she isn't, she will be.
What do you think about?
She's so beat up and just so sad. This will really help her out, I think. That's awesome.
Tell her we love her.
What do you think about you being the advocate for all women right now?
I'm not an advocate.
You are, but you are.
But you are. A star. Kevin Reddington is such a star, and what makes him such even better is that he's just humble. He's humble. He's sweet. He's aw shucks. He's just a solid guy. There's no pizzazz. There's no act. He feels as authentic as a human being can. Alan Jackson was the last criminal defense legend, hero, star in that area. And now here in Plymouth, Massachusetts, is a longtime resident, a guy that's been around forever, Kevin Reddington, Big Red. Like I said, he was famous for his representation of Mo Vaughn, who played for the Red Sox. But anyway, seeing the women out there was incredible. Here's another good interview. Here, take a look at that. You see some footage there of all the pink shirts. I think it's the same cause. They wore pink for Karen. It's just, we got you, girl. I think that's what they're saying. And here's a good interview that Reddington did on Fox News.
Thank you. What do you plan to do today before you rest your case?
Cross-examine their experts. They're going to put them on today. And then I'll probably have a Zoom tomorrow with one more witness.
Okay. Do you expect court to go again for the rest?
Closing argument should be Monday, hopefully.
Okay. How do you think it's going, your case?
Never predict, I mean, we got jurors that are spending literally 5 weeks of their time on this case, which I love that. I think it's amazing. It's been going good.
You've been here weeks and you've been having your eyes on the jury. They've been taking lots of notes. What are you thinking? Do you feel confident that they're
very, very attentive, and they're putting a lot of work. They always do. They put a lot of work into the case. It's very moving for them. They don't forget it.
Mr. Reddington, what's your message to all these folks who are here today?
Thank you. That's all I can say. It's amazing.
Love you, Kevin.
Kevin, are you surprised at just how much attention this case has gotten? I mean, people are coming from Maine.
It's a cleaner picture of what he just did, but boy, he's so good with the audience, and I think it has an effect in the courtroom. I think those jurors, just like the Karen Reed jury, heard the support outside. They know that when Lindsay Clancy's van is pulling up to deliver her to court each day, and they hear the cheers, they know. And of course, they're sitting inside and they're watching the prosecution and the defense go at it, and they're watching Kevin Reddington run circles around Shannon Buckingham and Jennifer Sprague, the two assistant DAs running the prosecution. Before we get to what happened in the courtroom, one of the women who is a major supporter, our friend Dina Kim, is amazing. She was there and one of the organizers for Karen Reed, and she's back at it for Lindsay Clancy. We became friends then, and we bring her out now. Bring on my girl. Where are you?
Hey.
There she is.
Hi. I just arrived home just in time with traffic from Plymouth to Waltham, so I just made it.
What? Well, you were there for Karen. You were there for Karen Reed in a big way. And so when did this start coming together for Lindsay?
Well, we had already heard about it during, when this first happened. So it was sort of on the back burner. So now it's, the trial starting and stuff. And as you watch it, as a woman, your heart breaks. Let's not forget there's 3 children that aren't here no more. No one has forgotten that.
Right.
What this is to me, and which to a lot of women that I met down there today, it's about the mental health end of it. It's about the health care of it. I mean, to me, watching what I saw, she was overloaded with medication. She was having PPD, PPS, and to me, our country doesn't do enough for what women are going through, and it's horrific. You look at other countries, and for this to be happen here, it's so sad, and just watching it, it's just so many people dropped the ball with this. That this woman has cried out for help, and when you're in that, she did the best of her ability to seek help, and it was just let down. And I live in Waltham. McLean Hospital is in the town next to me. It's right down the road.
Okay.
And everybody everywhere thinks McLean is this awesome, wonderful thing. And it is, if you have a lot of money. Okay? When you have a lot of money and you can pay tens of thousands of dollars a month, you get the care there that you need. But if you're not one of those people, I mean, we had Steven Tyler was there, James Taylor was there. There's so many stars and famous people that have gone through there, but they had the money to go to the right section of McLean Hospital. So That's just one of the points of it. But today down there, I talked to so many women that have suffered through this, and people were hugging each other, and they're just trying to be there to bring awareness to what is going on. There needs to be more attention to this in this country. It's there's so many passing the bucks with insurance companies, people just passing the buck from one person to the other. It has to do with the medical records. Like in today's world, with technology, how is it that a simple form can't be filled out and that people can share what's going on? Because you
This is
can,
crazy. Dina, I hate to do this because nobody, my brother lives, he was from Cambridge, Boston, one of the most brilliant guys in the world. He started a healthcare company called Athena Health, which is a really big company. He started that in Watertown. Anyway, they sold it. He went on, he started a new company called Zeus Health. And this is exactly what they do, because for this exact reason is to make sure that every doctor from every walk of life is on the same damn page. And that's all Zeus is one. So, when you go to the doctor's office and you fill out the form and it's 17 pages, you do it one time, that's it. And it's an automatic electronic ledger. So everybody knows what you're on.
exactly.
So you can see, oh shit, Jennifer Tufts gave her Zoloft and Seroquel and Valium and whatever. And then when she goes over to Rebecca Gelada, she can say, well, wait a minute, we tried that. That didn't work. Let's see what happens. There's got to be some kind of linear thing. I called my brother. I said, John, you realize your whole business model is being acted out right now, played out in the Lindsay Clancy trial. That would have saved her life. This is crazy. We need a national audit of the psychiatry field.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
this 32-year-old kid has been on the job for, she needs to be supervised before she is writing
Huge
medication.
point right there. What was she, a few months out of just working there? And
1
she
month
takes,
on the job,
yeah,
and she saw Lindsay 14 times and never in person. And
yeah.
she's just in Braintree. She's got 2 offices, 2 different places she can see people in person, and she never did. Reddington did a great job of making that point that how could you not see, hearing what you're hearing, seeing what you're seeing? You got to sit in that person's presence. You've got to be a human
Absolutely.
connection.
When you go into the emergency room, normally when you're having some psychic issues, and I worked for the police. I was up there a couple times when I had to bring a prisoner over for a psych evaluation and sit with them in the room. Even in that little bit of time, that person has had more time than this psychiatrist that was her psychiatrist. That for 17 minutes. I'm just, it's so heartbreaking because this could have not happened. This could have so not happened. And where she's only was on the job for a short time, why wasn't there a supervisor in her company overseeing, checking like, oh, here's the new girl, let me see what she's doing and check on something? I'm just, there's so many facets of this that is just mind blowing. And Kevin Reddington is the GOAT.
I
He
know.
is the GOAT. I mean, we saw him during the Karen Reed trial. He's got a great sense of humor. But if I needed someone to fight for me, oh my God, dude, Kevin
I know.
Reddington is the man. I got to sit and talk to him before he got out of the car. Well, he drove in and everyone was cheering, and I went right over to the car because I interacted with him at the Karen Reed trial. So I went over and talked to him, and he was blown away by the people out there.
Oh,
Women, he was so blown away by that. And the trolls and people that don't agree with what's going on, like they're thinking like, oh, how can you be supporting this woman because she murdered her 3 children? That's what people are saying that everywhere.
yeah.
This is not about, no one is forgetting that. What people are out there standing up for is because women know how this is. When I had my child 39 years ago, I was down with postpartum depression for 2 weeks. My mother had to take 2 weeks out of work and come stay with me
So
because
how
I
did
had a
that
new,
manifest for you, Dina? I'm sorry. How did that manifest for you? What did that feel like for you? You say
oh,
postpartum for 2 weeks. What were the feelings you had?
I wasn't sleeping because I was worried that my child would stop breathing in the middle of the night. This was 39 years ago. I mean, SIDS came out and stuff like that. And I was I wasn't getting sleep. You had to get up to feed and everything, and you just felt so tired. Your hormones are off. You don't even want to get in the shower. You're like in a fog. So, and that's what a lot, thank God I didn't have psychosis. I was never medicated for it. It was just like, Mom, I need you. I need you to come help me, Mom. And Lindsay was doing the same thing. I mean, when you're like that, you want your mom. You're like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I get myself together? And it shouldn't be something that is sort of, I don't know, not like it needs to be more aware that it's normal to feel this way and you need help. Other countries take care of the women after they have a baby. They have so much more resources and stuff, and we just don't do it here. We've become a country where just take a pill, just take a pill, just take a pill, and
Take a pill, take 13 pills.
yeah, and the amount of drugs that she was given in that short time, like everybody has somebody in their family that has some mental issues, or whatever it is. And any of those drugs take a while to work anyway. So how can you be switching up these drugs so much? And what is the interactions of coming off of them even on a short time? Like it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. There's no explanation.
Dina, tell me you went over to the car and there's Kevin Reddington.
Yeah.
And you go over and did you have interaction with him?
Yeah, yeah. He remembered who I was because of my glasses and the Karen Reed case, which most people do. I mean, I wore these long before Karen Reed, and he was like, hey, he had a big smile on his face, and I'm like, Reddington, I said, I got to tell you, you are the man right now. You are fighting for every woman in Massachusetts and now around the world. Like, he's given a path that something needs to change, and people are watching. These effing insurance companies, it's all about insurance and paperwork, and you'll be, yeah, you have paperwork, but you have computers now, but you have to listen to the patients of what they're telling you. A perfect example, they section Karen Reed. Look how quick they section Karen Reed, but not a woman that's crying for help saying she's having intrusive thoughts. Like,
I know.
it's so many mistakes. And again, we're in Massachusetts. Here's Reddington saying the Mass State Police didn't even search her nightstand table to pull out a bag of goddamn pills. Like, so what else did they miss in that house? You know what I mean? Like, it's so messed up here in Massachusetts. I'm just tired of it. So I went down there to stand up for women, for change, for, you know, I don't want to see her go to a jail because she was
No.
sick. This is why we have these laws. She needs to be taken care of and hopefully regulated with what she needs and the therapy that she needs to heal. How can you ever heal yourself from this? Like, let's be honest. We all know a person that has lost a child by whatever circumstance. Those people are not the same. She will live with this is, when you have children, this is not what you expect to happen.
No.
There's got to be change.
Dina, what do you think? What do you think would happen just to get a sense of the community out there? If Patrick Clancy walked out, would they cheer and embrace and be like, "Oh my God, what you've been through," or would it be a little icy for him?
I'm here in Massachusetts. We're reading the room right now. People are horrified right now. One with the coming after the Catholic Church. Let's just say this with all that Catholic stuff. But Patrick Clancy, I'm saying this as how people are talking.
We love you for that, Dina.
People are questioning some of the stuff that has come out as far as time frames, emails, telephone calls, missing DNA on stuff, a marriage too soon, who knew who before the marriage. Um, there's a lot of talk about that. Um, I don't want to say too much more. I don't want to get a fucking defamation case or anything, But here's that people are speculating. And here in Massachusetts, it's a very Irish Catholic community here in Massachusetts. And these two Bow twins that remind me of the people on, what was it, Nightmare on Elm Street, when they're dressed in the same dresses, the two girls. That's
Yeah.
what they look like. People are horrified at the actions of how they're being as prosecutors. It's horrendous.
I have a very good interview up with Matt Murphy. We talk about the only thing is that Patrick's behavior with is definitely in question. The other woman, there's always, you got to be careful what you follow on TikTok and places where they're,
Exactly.
about what time they met, and boy, they were spotted here, and this was long before, and they went to Costa Rica together 3 weeks after. I know he did. And then there's a post of her with a group, and she was. I don't know if any of what's true there. I do know
Right.
that the guy met her very quickly afterwards and was married, so it's likely, he wasn't a very good and supporting husband. He wasn't. As we shine the light on postpartum depression, it's an opportunity for guys to understand it better. I've been in contact with the head of Mass General Women's Health, Dr. Lee Cohen, and we have a mutual friend. So I'm trying to get him on to explain this, because I want men to get an idea of what this is too. Because if you're a young guy and your wife's about to have a baby, you ought to have some ability to see some signs here and be supportive and help out.
There was plenty of men down there. If you look in the crowd in the pictures, there was some men dressed in pink
I love
with
it.
their kids. And, as this goes on, I get my grandchildren every so often, and I go around to all the playgrounds, and all the playgrounds are usually filled with just women. It's changing. There was a lot of men the last few times I've been to the playground. It's so change is coming here. Like, I think men are taking a look too, like, no wonder, most men will be like, why is she acting so goddamn crazy? My freaking wife is crazy, or my girlfriend's crazy. Like, she's being a bitch, or she's doing this, or why is she so goddamn tired? Like, men, step up to the plate too. Don't be afraid to say something. Sometimes you just got to take the reins and just, do something for your wife. Take the kids out. If you got having 3 kids is a lot. Having 4 or 5, it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot when you're on lack of sleep, you're having depression and everything. And another thing that people don't talk about with women, and I'm going to say it here, as women, guys grow up, they're young men, and they get their hormones rage, and they get acne, and they act all weird. But then us women, we get our periods, then we have childbirth, and then we have menopause. Our hormones are so out of whack, and you wonder why we act a little kooky sometimes. We can't help ourselves. It's not easy being a woman. It's not,
I know.
and people got to
Trust me.
take that into account.
I got 3 daughters, okay, and they're all in their 20s. So we've been through I have a front row seat,
Yeah.
and I love it. Dina, you are unbelievable. We'll stay in touch. Will you be out there tomorrow, next week? Will you be, let us know your schedule.
I'm going to try to. I try to do what I can now, because for 3 years at Karen Reed, we all put our jobs aside, PTO, all that other stuff. And now we're all trying to build back up and get back into normal life. So it's hard, So I'll
When you
try
go
to get
down,
there when
if
I
you-
can.
Okay, yeah. When you go down, we'll stay in touch. I love you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Take care. Love and peace, everybody. And remember, women, we all got to stick together.
Hey,
Hold
Dina,
on.
but 2 things before you go. Do us a favor and show us your tattoos. People are asking for your tattoos.
Oh.
And Billy, do me a favor, boost your volume while Dina's doing that. Turn your car up.
It's all the
That's
way
a-
up, Harry.
That's a skull with roses and the Waltham watch, because I was born in Waltham, and so was it my mother and my grandmother. This is from Key West. It's an iris. This is a Pisces symbol.
Wow.
This is a dragonfly, my mom's name. And then, hold on. And this is,
Wow.
yeah. And then I have my son's name right here. So, my skull with the 3 roses with the watch during the Karen Reed trial, I lost my mother, and then 3 days later, I lost my mother's sister, and then a month and a half later, I lost my grandmother all at once. And so I got the tattoo to represent death, where we were all born, and roses, because they meant so much in my life.
You're my spirit animal, Dina. I love you very much. You're
I love you
amazing.
too, Billy. Anything you need, just reach out.
All right, girl.
All
We
right,
love
love
you.
and peace.
Boston legal correspondent for Hot Mics, Dina. We love her. Yeah, so the trial today was really short, you guys, really short. Day 17. But Dr. Paul Zeisel was on the stand yesterday. He said Lindsay Clancy has had bad days and worse days. That was the big takeaway from yesterday. In case anybody thought she was sitting in comfort or something, you know, that she might avoid prison doesn't mean she's got a beautiful life, you know, ahead of her. He said she's still experiencing suicidal ideation. She has constant one-on-one monitoring and has for the last 3+ years. She's no longer on drugs, no longer on the drugs that she was on when she alleges to have heard voices, dark male voice telling her to kill her children. She hasn't heard those voices since, and coincidentally hasn't been on all those medications since. She's diagnosed as bipolar by the doctors. The assistant DA Buckingham showed that Lindsay did nothing special on her children's birthdays. This was aggressive for her. Again, these are aggressive assistant DAs running the prosecution. She says that, you know, Cora's birthday would come and Lindsay would just go to the break room. Lindsay would just, is it true that Lindsay was just watching television and didn't do anything? And she gave like way too many dates. A major characteristic of these assistant DAs is overdoing it. Instead of 2 examples of something, it's 9 in a row, and it gets exhausting and annoying, especially when that Jennifer Sprague keeps saying, correct, drives me up a wall. And by the way, on a couple of those visits on children's birthdays, her parents were there, and you think it's possible that maybe they were visiting because of the birthdays. And then there was this Emily Thorndike. I think you've heard about her. She was on TikTok. She worked for 8 years at McLean Hospital as a social worker. She left a year before Lindsay arrived, so they didn't coincide. But she was going to take the stand to talk about conditions at McLean. Dina just gave her opinion on that. But it's not as rosy as you think, is her point. And they won't, the Judge Sullivan said no, denied Emily Thorndike as a defense witness. Then this morning, in the very short 2 hours that they were on, it was mostly to present Sheila Kavanaugh. Wow, this is a saintly woman. And all the comment sections when she came out in the beginning were like, whoa, she's weird. She's giving off weird vibes, a little kooky. She's a saint. Sheila Kavanaugh spent 15 years as a senior vice president at Fidelity Investments and then thought she would do something more meaningful with her life. And she became a chaplain at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. And she saw, for the first time, she saw Lindsay on the 25th, the day after she killed her children and fell out of the second-story window. When she first encountered her, she was wearing medical armor, she said. Tubes, bandages, a neck brace, all this equipment which would enable her breathing. And that was January 25th, and she just prayed with her. And the first time she actually spoke with Lindsay was January 31st. And Lindsay's first words were, "I'm so glad my children are safe." She prayed with her and she said, "Your children are safe. Yes, they are with God." But she didn't get into, obviously, what had happened. But Lindsay alluded to her about hearing that male voice, that if she did not follow the command to kill her kids, that she and her children would not be safe. So at Tewksbury State Hospital, Sheila Kavanaugh, the chaplain, saw Lindsay Clancy 200 times. And just a few days ago was the last time. And now Lindsay is totally with it. And she speaks often about her children. She carries immense grief, according to Chaplain Kavanaugh. She was then, of course, cross-examined by Jennifer Sprague, correct? And she says, you never wrote about Lindsay hearing voices in your notes. To which Sheila said, well, that's not the reason I'm there. I'm not there to evaluate people medically. I'm only a witness to their suffering. And Sprague says, yeah, but you wrote many other notes regarding her hopes to be walking soon and maybe feeling better about this. And so you did give updates in other ways. She admitted that she did. So that might have been a small point for the prosecution. But once again, she overdid it. These women are overdoing everything. There is a dexterity to this art form of being a prosecutor. You got to know the room. And to hammer a nice woman who's a chaplain over and over again in a rude and combative way doesn't score points. Right? Anyway, that is the Lindsay Clancy trial for today. Fantastic. Fantastic. The Lindsay's army of love, I think is what they call it. And the women are out there. Some husbands are out there. Fantastic.
Got some great sound if you want to run a little bit of Channel 5. Couple of interviews with supporters if you want. They're there. I can pop them up. Yeah.
Let's go.
Mostly women have gathered outside of the Plymouth Superior Courthouse to show their support for hundreds of people, mostly women, have gathered outside of the Plymouth Superior Courthouse to show their support for Lindsay Clancy.
I felt like the system failed her. She was begging for help, but no one was there. I don't know if us being here will make her feel any better, but I mean, she's living in hell right now.
Just wanted to support Lindsay and just say it could be, you know, one of my sister-in-laws, it could be one of my best friends, and it could be me. So just here to support.
We are hearing her. We see that she tried everything. And I really do believe that she went into a state of psychosis.
Clancy's supporters call her attorney Kevin Reddington a champion of women's rights. Is she aware of this support, and what does she think of this support?
I'm going to go in and see her right now. I'm sure that she is, and if she isn't, she will be.
What do you think about?
She's so beat up and just so sad. This will really help her out, I think.
Tell her we love her.
The crowd of about 200 to 300 people lined the road as Lindsay Clancy was brought into the courthouse.
I hope when this is all over that the medical field gets, held responsible for some of this, because she tried. She tried desperately to get help, and it wasn't there. Whether she's guilty, innocent, it doesn't really matter. 3 lives are gone. And
Wow. Just heartbreaking. Okay. I'm going to have my audio fixed by a technician. We'll see you next time.
Me doing me, right?
That's insane. Another compliment there.